Okay, welcome to Conscious Living Collective, place where we explore fascinating intersection of science, mindfulness, conscious living, and more. My name is Tomek. I'm a teacher here on Inside Timer, also a scientist, and I want to warm welcome you to another session where we begin with meditation and follow with the discussion. Today, grounding and healing. Something that I am in great need of. So I hope you will all help me to ground myself and center myself in this meditation in your presence, and then we can discuss what comes out of it. I'm glad you and thank you for helping me to solve the technical issues. I always want to make sure that everything comes clearly and nicely. And I know that has not been the case in the past. So please let me know if anything changes. I would like to fix it before we continue. Who I see? Tosca, Parvane, more familiar faces. Who is here? Karen, Sandy, Carmen, Shannon. Good to see you all. And if some of you are here for the first time, I would like you to also raise your hand. And I would like to particularly extend my particularly warm welcome to the first timers because you are the heart of my community. Okay, one more thing. And we will be ready to start. The music that you've heard at the beginning is a wonderful piece of music that I use a lot for my personal meditations when I need some background for my exploration. And it has been composed by our own Weston Brown, artist that has been recommended to me by one of my patrons in our live sessions. And ever since I've heard this musical piece or masterpiece, I've been with it for a long time. So Weston Brown, Pastures of Green. And indeed, I can feel the greenness in it when I listen to this music. So that will accompany us in today's meditation. Patty is new here. Welcome, Patty, from Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. Hello, Jenny. Good to see all of you. So just for the benefit of those of you who are here for the first time, Conscious Living Collective is a place of exploration. We have a meditation and we have a discussion, and we try to contribute and connect through this space. And today we will start with grounding and healing meditation. Grounding comes first, and out of grounding and centering comes healing. And see how it goes. How is that experience will unfold for you? So let me begin by changing the scenery a bit. I no longer will be in the foreground of this experience because I'm not that important. I'd rather you watch or see this wonderful picture of the ocean surf and enjoy the music. So let me play it for you. And there you go, Weston Brown, Pastures of Green. I hope you are ready for an exploration of the inner landscape. And if you choose to keep your eyes open, here it is, the view of the ocean surf. Okay. So for those of you who attended the past couple of sessions, you know that I've been exploring heart-centered breathing, something that helps me tremendously to ground myself and center myself in times of stress. when my mind is racing, when I feel overwhelmed by my thoughts, my emotions. Heart-centered breathing comes really handy. And that's how I usually start my meditation. It goes like that. Start where you are. Adjust your posture in a way that feels comfortable for you. I usually sit upright with my back straight, but definitely not rigid. I allow my shoulders to drop away from my ears to make sure that they loose. And then I quickly check in with the muscles of my jaw. If I have a hard day, if my mind is racing, that's usually where a lot of tension is being stored. So I intentionally release that tension. May make my jaw go limp. Also, I rest my tongue behind the two top teeth. I'll be guiding you, so I cannot really close my mouth, but for those of you who don't have to talk right now, which is all of you, please breathe in and breathe out through your nose. And that will allow you to rest your tongue behind the two top teeth. So now we created a stage for our inner exploration. We feel a bit more at ease, more relaxed, comfortable. Ready to shift our attention from whatever your attention rests upon right now to your breath. There's no need to change your breath in any way. Simply recognize the simple action of in-breath and out-breath. And for those of you who are more experienced, you may also notice the gap between the both at the end of each in-breath, at the end of each out-breath. This gap connects the two. There's so much to experience in the space of a single breath. So now that your attention is there, begin directing your breath through the center of your chest, all through your heart. And hence the name of this technique, heart-centered breathing. It's kind of self-explanatory. And we want to stay faithful to this technique. We want to trust this method. That intention is the centering and grounding of our entire body And when body is at ease, the mind usually follows. I'm a scientist, so my explanation for this technique is to sending messages to my nervous system to reset, rebalance. So for me, each breath is a separate message saying everything is okay. It's time to rest. Time to feel at ease. And obviously that applies also to all the organs, all the processes that happen right now in your body. They will follow up, or they follow the same message. Feel at ease, relaxed, grounded. But remember, you're not sending this message in a verbal way. Talking yourself into calm, relaxation hardly ever works. This is a much better way. Sending messages by breathing yourself into it. One breath at a time. Each breath being a separate message. And then when you establish this connection with your breath, you may intentionally slow it down a bit, which will add an extra layer to this message, will make this message more powerful. If I had a chance to connect you right now to a heart monitor, you will notice that your heart also follows. And you would see on the screen this wonderful sine wave, a regular, harmonious, coherent, a sign of you being centered, harmonious, coherent. You may see or experience that there's a shift. Maybe a very subtle shift in how you feel, how your body and mind respond to this practice. There still may be mind wandering. There still may be thoughts. But perhaps dealing with them now is slightly easier. Perhaps you feel more prepared to take them on. But to add one more element to this protocol, as I call it. When you actually feel that your mind is overactive, before you bring yourself back to your breath, as most of the techniques invite you to do, first check in with your jaw. And what you will notice that in the process of mind wandering, your muscles tense up. And the first muscles that tense up a lot are the muscles of your jaw. So before you return to your breath, stop by at your jaw, so to speak, and intentionally relax it, make it go limp. And then back to the heart-centered breathing. If that feels difficult, I'm here by your side to hold the space for you, to support you, because it's not always easy. The process of grounding, the process of centering yourself, particularly if you had a tough day, it's not something that happens easily or quickly. Sometimes it may take time. And it is important to know that you feel supported in this process. You're not alone. And that's why you are here. And Conscious Living Collective, supported not only by me, but also by the presence of so many of us from around the world. Feel the collective support, the collective energy, if you will. And perhaps that helps the process. As a matter of fact, I know for a fact that it does. Breathing through your heart. And when you find your own rhythm and you begin experiencing that first stages of grounding and relaxation, that's where the healing is. So you don't necessarily have to say it out loud and state that intention of being healed. This is more of the fruit of your effort that you put into heart-centered breathing, the effort of being here and devoting your time to the practice. But if you experience sweet sensation of ease, harmony, coherence, if you will, embrace it and make it a part of this practice. From now on, making each breath another message to your entire self to embrace that experience, embrace this feeling of groundedness, centeredness. Little by little, adding with each breath a bit more to that presence, to that stillness. And if you're feeling positive effects of this meditation, use what Thich Nhat Hanh says. It's a very wonderful way of meditating. Add a gentle smile on your face. Not an open, big smile, but kind of a smirk of a sort to emphasize that you are okay right now, that you're feeling good. And now to conclude this grounding and healing meditation, express your gratitude for yourself being here, for your experience, and for the presence of the others that support this process, making it a collective effort. And once again, connect with this heartfelt feeling. And take it with you. Remember it for the times where thoughts are racing, you feel stressed. Come back to this very moment as a possibility. And now I want you to begin reconnecting once again with your physical senses. Recognizing the boundaries of your physical body that connect you with the space around you. Perhaps add a gentle movement of your fingers and toes. And to finish up, take one deep cleansing breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And when you're ready, open your eyes and welcome back. All right, and we are back to the main focus, to the reality, so to speak, exploring some internal landscape, coming back to experience the physicality of things. And I'd be curious, as I always am after the end of each meditation, how do you feel right now? In one word, if you could describe the state that you arrived at, that'd be wonderful. And I'm going to start with myself, saying that it always brings me a pleasure and joy to meditate with you. It always helps me to go much quicker into that centeredness and groundedness of things. And that meditation was no different. And I think you can hear it in my voice, in a sense, that I feel very much at ease with what is happening right now. Karen, feel relaxed. Tanya, loose. Parvane, calm. Sandy, grounded and peaceful. Virginia, quiet. Anita, contemplative. Jenny, still. Layla, calm. Alina feels joy. JB feels relieved. JB, what do you feel relieved from? I hope you're right. There's just so much that this method can bring. But again, I want to emphasize that this method is enhanced by your presence. This method groups much better in a group setting. There's a science that indicates where we focus our attention on our heart and continue breathing in a rhythmic way. We expand a biofield or biomagnetic field, if you wish, that has capacity of connecting with the others and influence the others. It's a very real effect that is measurable. And also this effect works across the space. So space is not a factor here. It's also work if we are apart in long distance. Oh, thank you, JB, for sharing. Relief from a struggle to recover from a concussion. Yes, that will definitely bring some relaxation into your body and help your brain to go back to the balance. Fantastic. I'm going to add this to my list of many benefits that heart-centered breathing brings, and help in recover from a concussion. Jeez. Yes, as you know, Jenny says, I love hearing the science behind it. There's so much that I could tell about this method and how heart-centered breathing is, in essence, something I not always share with you, but maybe if you already asked, it actually restores the communication between the nervous system of your heart and the neurons in your brain. That's why something that we don't recognize, I think, is not very much recognized in the modern science, although it comes more to forefront, that neurons as cells of your brain, not only present in your head, they also present around major organs, present around your heart, present around your gut. And they send signals and communicate between those systems, communicate between one another, sending messages. They not always, they never verbal messages. As I communicate with you now, it's in a verbal form. They have a different kind of function and different way of communicating. I'm sure you've heard about the gut feeling. Gut feeling is a lay term describing that there is some form of communication that happens between the nervous system around your gut with your brain, that you can verbalize it at this stage because the communication occurred. Also, I'm sure you've heard about heartfelt feeling. You feel something in your heart. It's a powerful sensation that you not necessarily can express, but it's heartfelt. It's very apparent and nobody can deny it. So there is so much more. And the reason why I really like that technique is takes the brain, my overactive brain, I should add, out of the picture, well, partially out of the picture. In most of the techniques I practice, open awareness is the main one. And that technique includes the thoughts and emotions as they come and try and kind of encapsulate them. But I will be honest with you, when I feel particularly disturbed or overwhelmed, this is not always possible. It just adds to the storm that is already in my head. And in this instance, when I feel this way, the heart-centered breathing is easier, to me at least. I'm not saying it's going to be easier to everyone, but it helps me because I can simply focus on my breath, slow it down, maybe sometimes count to 5 even when my mind doesn't want to let go. And within a couple of minutes, I can see a difference. I'm not saying that I'm completely calm or I'm able to detach from whatever happened, but it gives me, as JB described it, maybe that's why I connected with it. It gives me a relief. And further building on that relief can take me to deeper places. So I think we try to choose our battles. That's what I try to say. And sometimes there's a place for very deep, relaxed meditation when we are in a good place. But sometimes we just need a relief. And I think that's okay too. Because we know that's where the healing happens, for JB, with having a concussion, not all the methods of meditation perhaps would work, but knowing that heart-centered breathing helps to relieve, and when you experience relief, obviously healing happens. That's a very positive thing. Sandy and Karen, I'm so appreciative of your donations. Thank you so much. It's very much helpful to my cause. Jack asks, is there somewhere to read about heart-centered breathing effects? Absolutely, yes. There's actually the entire organization devoted to exploring this both experientially and scientifically. It's called Heart Math Institute. Heart, Math for Mathematics Institute. So Heart Math Institute. It's devoted to exploring this profound effect that heart-centered breathing has on our both nervous system, our emotional regulation, and so many other benefits. And if you are even more interested in kind of exploring how it really works, you can see it on the screen. When you have one of the heart rate monitors that become now cheaper and cheaper. As a matter of fact, even my watch can track my heart rate these days. You can see on a screen how the heart rhythm or the coherence of the heart rhythm changes when you continue breathing in that, and when you continue with the heart-centered breathing. It's very useful to have that so-called biofeedback. I'm sorry to hear that you have you have a hard time, Jack. I'm sure that there are many of us that can resonate with this and offer you our support. I certainly resonate with what you're saying, and I'm sending you heartfelt, warm feelings so you can feel better and experience relief. I hope you experience some of the relief during this meditation. Virginia, thank you for explanation this. Can you say more about the link between anxiety and gut? Well, I can, because for me, and maybe for many, the stress and anxiety can be felt in the gut around my gut in a very profound way. So when I feel stressed, my first diagnostic tool is to check in with my belly, and usually I feel a very deep, either not discomfort, by a tension. It's a feeling. Again, as you can see, it's very difficult to translate it into words, but when you feel it, it's undeniably there. So when my way to go technique, even above heart-centered breathing, when I feel that tension in my tummy, is to simply demonstrate it right now. You can see I automatically come into that meditative posture, because that simply allows the flow of the energy in that column. You upright your nervous system, knowing that you upright your nervous system, it's a signal to your nervous system that everything is okay. When you move your shoulders forward and when your head is down, when you put your head down, that's the information to your nervous system. Something is not right. So that adds extra tension. When I sit up, that helps. So anyway, I sit up, automatically close my eyes, but you don't have to close your eyes. And simply stay with that feeling. So rather than allowing your thoughts to add the insult to the injury of your current state, focus on the sensation in your belly. And you will find that it's much easier to deal with that, however unpleasant sensation, than with your thoughts, at least for me. And that's a beginning of the healing process for me, at least. So there's so much to say about this method and how this works. But ultimately, the best thing we can do is to practice. And that was obviously a very extended version of heart-centered breathing. But you can use this in any situation. And again, the situations when you feel overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, the situations that it works. I think for me, it works the best. I'm not sure if it will work for you the best, because it takes practice. So I already kind of rewired my nervous system to know that when I start breathing in this way, the message is very strong, because I practice this for a long time. At first, you might not feel such profound effects, but with time, just a couple of weeks of practicing it on a daily basis, you will find that even at 30 seconds, something less than a minute of heart-centered breathing can really provide a relief to your current state. Because that message, obviously, that you're sending to your nervous system has been reinforced in the past so many times. So there's actual neural pathway in your brain that will be engaged every time you practice heart-centered breathing, and provide that relief quicker and deeper. So there is definitely a science behind it, a lot of research. You can use biofeedback, if you will, but nothing can substitute the practice of it. Nobody can convince you of the validity and effectiveness of heart-centered breathing but you. by actually putting it into action. And that scientist in me speaks, right? Don't listen to what I say. Find out for yourself. Turn the beliefs into knowns, if you will. This is the most important part of the process. Don't listen to anyone. Find out for yourself. Virginia, that's so very generous of you. Thank you so much for your support. So yeah, there's a part that is individual and requires your effort and commitment. But there's also the part, and I want to mention because it's also part of the process where we collectively come together. I think something that, even doing online sessions, and most of my sessions are online, I don't have that many opportunities to have, particularly post-COVID, to have in-person groups. But the in-person groups are absolutely tremendously helpful towards this process. You can actually design a meditation that will focus not only on yourself, but also on the group around you. And you can experience a collective coherence. There is actually HeartMath Institute I think it's called Collective Coherence Project, where people gather around the world and meditate together at the same time, focusing on the same heartfelt feeling. And they can see a difference. But once again, being in person, there's no substitute to that, I think. And gather you here in Conscious Living Collective in front of your screen is great. But if you have a chance to connect with someone or even a few people in your local community and just gather and practice it, that takes this practice to the next level. And as you can imagine, adds also the extra benefit of being together, of having something in common. Heart-centered breathing in this practice can be a common denominator, a conversation starter, a gateway experience towards having other experiences and deepen the process. So, Parvana asks, is heart-centered breathing the same as coherent breathing? So, yeah, heart-centered breathing is I think the way you can describe it, but it leads to coherence. So, coherent breathing is the rhythmic breathing, right? Coherence is a state of harmony. The coherent is a scientific term that describes a harmony. So when you say coherent breathing, it usually says a harmonious, rhythmic breathing that brings a coherent, which is state of harmony, into your body and mind. So I think yes, you can. It's the same. Just try to lie to you. Yes, it is. It is very much something that is promoted by HeartMath, and giving a caveat here because when we hearing about different methods and different techniques that sound so unique and novel, I find it actually there's nothing new about what we're doing here. We can call it, coherent breathing, heart-centered breathing. You can call it just a focus on your breath and your heart breathing. And somehow, some way, having some extra label to it helps our mind and our intellect to get on board with it. But what is important here is your intention, where you're going with it. How you call it, it's important to your intellect, but it does not necessarily influence, particularly long-term, the outcome of this. Well, if you meditate, for instance, if you develop a deep meditation practice, this will have exactly the same effect as this breathing technique. Will bring your body and mind to the state of coherence, will bring your body and mind into the state of harmony. But, we like techniques. We like something to hang on to. And that's why this is not unimportant. This is something that may be helpful. And if it's helpful, why not to use it? Okay. Okay, we almost close to an hour. So I'd like to thank you for practicing with me again. When you show up next time, I'd like to hear maybe if you applied this method in your daily life, if it helped you, that'll be really beneficial. I would really like to hear about it from you. So let's see. And we come back next week, and I'm sure I'll come back to the topic because I think it's important to have something to provide us with a relief when the times are tough. And this is certainly one of those methods. All right, so I want to wish you a very pleasant night or a great day, depends where you are. And I look forward to meditating with you next time and connecting through Conscious Living Collective, the place where we explore the fascinating intersection of science, mindfulness, and conscious living. I hope this was a proof of it. And I want to leave you with, as we started with, Weston Brown, Patches of Green. Please do enjoy. And I look forward to hearing and seeing you next time.